Hi everyone, it's mid-April and it's time for our monthly tour. We'll start here with the chickens. Very happy and healthy. We only have 5 now. Having 3 roosters was not working out. They were getting to the age where they were getting very territorial. I felt really bad for the hens. They were getting accosted constantly. It was very loud. And then it started to get bloody. And that was not a sight neither I nor my children needed to see. So the 2 big roosters, the loudest, went. And also one of the hens, she came with the big grayish one. She laid 1 egg the whole time she was here. And I knew they were older. I didn't get them for egg laying. They were mainly to make compost. So since now I do have egg layers, she also went with them. All right, now for the garden. Nothing planted out yet. I'm feeling a little bit behind, but at the same time, not really. It's a weird time this spring. I'd forgotten I had left this kale in here when I cleaned out this bed, and I had buried it in the plastic. So I pulled up the plastic yesterday and I saw this sad looking kale, but it's alive and it'll keep growing there. And then the spinach that have survived the winter are coming up strong. At least this one and that one, this one, yeah, the inside growth looks good. And there's a few weeds that need to come out of this bed. But yeah, I need to get these beds filled. You can't see really, but I have transplanted the asparagus to this bed. I'll have that video out in a couple of days. There's about 4, maybe 8 asparagus in here that may or may not survive the transplant. The rhubarb, on the other hand, are doing really well with the transplant. They have grown tremendously since we put them in. There's this one hellebore on the property. It's so pretty. I need to find a way to either propagate this or get it healthier somehow so I can have more hellebore. Because it's really nice to see first part of the springtime. Here we have the rest of the rhubarb coming up real strong. These are the ones that I put garlic in. I'll have to clip some of these leaves because I don't want to jeopardize the garlic. It's a little bit more important to me this year than the rhubarb. And I threw some potatoes that were growing in from the cupboard in there. The compost is composting. I threw in my carrots and beets, I'd say 3 weeks ago, and so far so good. I overseeded, so there'll be thinning going on, but it looks like a lot of them took. I left this little square right here because at the time there was at least 3 carrots that overwintered, but since then those carrots have disappeared, so something nibbled on those. And then the beets are coming up now. Those are a little more, I spaced those out, so those look like they also came up pretty strongly everywhere I put them. So yeah, looks like might have a successful, can't really see them, bed of carrots and beets. I was thinking of putting an allium in here, a couple of onions maybe. And then I still have to decide what I'm going to put in this front area. Something that stays short. I like the cascading part, but then I can't reach over and grab the vegetables on the other side if there's things growing. This bed is empty still, except for occasional weeds. The moon bed's still empty. The peas are doing good. They've been undisturbed. They're growing healthy. There was some washout, so I had to come in and backfill some soil because I'd forgotten that this is a waterway and the water used to come to here, but now that I've blocked the path. Well, I did that because of the water, because this would be kept moist, but now the water was like, get out of my way. So it took some of the soil with it, so I've put more mulch around it to keep the water, and the water will go around that way. I also threw in some seeds, but I don't see anything coming up. Oh, maybe one there just yet. You can't really see it unless you're really close. Look at that. Some are really small, but they're coming up. Here's the biggest one. I wish it was edible. It is, but obviously not big enough. Look at that beauty. Can't wait to eat you next year. Beautiful thing. But I counted 30 individual, or plants would have been. So that's just what's come up here. So that is so cool. The featured shed area continues to be worked on. We had to dig a channel because water was pooling right here. So we dug out a channel to the border of the property so the water goes that way. Here we've transplanted the figs out. I'll have that video out in a couple of days also. They were looking really anemic, light green leaves. Now they've darkened up and they're seeing very nice growth. This one has a very nice bushing habit. This one we'll have to work on next year, trim off the terminals to encourage lateral growth. And I'm looking forward to when it warms up so I can put out my sunchokes, which are getting huge inside. There's the garlic coming up. I think this is red vein sorrel. It overwintered, or at least I threw the seeds in during the winter. So they're coming up slow but sure. I think this is regular sorrel. I'm gonna taste it and see. It's also overwintered. Yep, it's got that lemony citric zing. It's really good. I had thrown other seeds, but I don't think any of those took. Now here, these bigger ones I had put in about November, which was really a little bit foolish, but I kept it under the bin and they survived. They overwintered, which was great. So we have early salad. I think this was winter density. And then I've since thrown in seeds just in this little square area. Because this is a deer, the deer can find this, so I didn't want to plant too much. I do want to put more onions here. Hopefully they'll leave those alone. Here's one more lettuce that lived uncovered all winter. It was from the summertime even, and it just didn't do anything at all. Now it's coming back. Here we have stinging nettles coming in strong. I'm so glad I kept them in this tote because they are really, really strong. They're going to overtake this comfrey that I put in the middle here. I'm going to have to dig that up and put it in with its siblings coming in slow. So there were sun-choked tubers that didn't do too well last year in here, but I don't think they made it. We'll see. And I have the video of the cleanup of the asparagus bed coming at ya. This beautiful weeping cherry was, it is abuzz with bumbles, particularly 2 days ago when we had temperatures in the 80s. I see at least 4 in it now, and it smells so delicious. I wish I had more of these. I have a couple of hollyhocks coming in for their 3rd season. Not as strong as last year. Oh, the Delphiniums are doing really nicely now. They were, let's see, where did I put them in? I guess I put them in last year and they didn't do much. Now they're coming in strong. I'm not sure what this is. I think I planted that. Where there's another one. Ow! Ugh, that hurt. This one's gotten trampled. Alright. We have here lettuce. Lettuce started. Swiss chard. These are celery that should really be planted out by now. I've got, which one's this one? This is the tatsoi container. And the other one's the bok choy, the dill. This is, no wait, those are both tatsoi. This is the bok choy container. I've got, this is for me. I never started black krim, so I got black krim and eggplants. And then these are my, for show basically, tomatoes that I have forgotten the labels on. So these are mystery tomatoes. I put in my gobstopper and also, which one was this one? The striped German tomato slicer. No, that was late on putting in. Over here I have, which one's spinach? Spinach starting. We got one lone seedling come up. Alright, over here. I'm not really impressed with the artichokes, but they're alive, so we'll see. I threw in another seed there because this one failed, so there's another seed that I put in. This is Kale Borage. For some reason I only put 15 in, so I put another 5, so it's 20. This is the parsley, doing real well. This is the kale. No wait, did I say kale? Oh, that was kohlrabi. This is the kale. Down here we have pak choi, and here is the broccoli. So I definitely seeded heavily, making sure I have good germinate. Alright, to the tomatoes. These are the German green. This is, what did I do? Paul Robeson? Nope, this is the black creme. Down here is the Paul Robeson. This is more. How do I? Oh wait, this is the Rutgers. Majority of these is the Rutgers. It was just these two that are German green. This is the Rutgers. This is the German green. Marigold. Those two cells that I had empty, I put more marigold in. The containers I have yet to uppot are the tomatillos, the paste tomatoes, and down there are the cherry tomatoes. Now, as for the containers, certain things did really well. Asian greens do really well. Pak choy, tatsoi, bok choy, the broccoli, those really have to go out. Even the parsley and the dill. I feel like I should have had more perlite in the mixes because we had so much rain and moisture and snow. These containers were just so waterlogged for so long that I feel like if they weren't, that I'd have better germination, like chard. It's coming up. The calendula. This is Johnny Jump Ups. One lone Nasturtium. Snapdragons. Rosemary. Nothing on the white cypress vining flower. Nothing in that lavender container. A little celosia, hardly. Cosmos, hardly. A little early still. Alright, these are. This one has better lavender growth. Cilantro is doing good here. So 1, 2 calendulas there. Then the Cotiana is looking really good. This is a tobacco stock. This is another Snapdragon container. This is a Scabiosa. And this is another calendula. Like one. Really? This is the borage. Look how the drainage on this was stopped up, so it is very, very waterlogged. I really need to get this dried out. Yeah, this didn't do very well. And this asparagus. They're coming up. Oh my gosh. I thought they were done for. This is so awesome. Do you see that? Yeah. Gee whiz. You really gotta be patient with plants. Oh, that's awesome. I really had given up on these. Finally. Little sprigs are coming up. Woohoo! So that's the asparagus. It's gonna rain again later. I'm gonna shelter these better because they don't need any more water, honestly. Alright. That's pretty good for the winter sowing. I am going to spring sow more greens like the Swiss chard and the spinach. I don't feel like enough came up, so I'm gonna do another load of those in the jugs and not directly because I don't know what the cutworm situation is this year, and I'm not taking any chances. At the elephant garlic square, the empty patch, I threw French breakfast radish. Those are up. That's awesome. There's an ant in there stealing a seed of some kind. Looks like a tomatillo seed. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that. The white yarrow hasn't flowered yet for me. Hoping this is the year. And this garlic that I had saved, my own, are doing well. Couple losses, but otherwise pretty good. And this was a wild mix that I threw in a patch. I think this is more Delphinium. I believe this is Bachelor Button. And that is all I can really surmise. I don't know if this came in the wild seed packet, but this grows like weeds in my garden, so in the whole yard. So I don't know. I don't see. This also is a weed looking thing that grows everywhere here. Ow. Nothing yet here, but I did throw potatoes in here. You'll see that soon. And on the outskirts, I threw in more peas. I only see one coming up. There's a few all along the edge here. Don't see any. And nothing yet on these areas. Just resting. Growing weeds. My onions and leeks. These are going to sale. These slightly runtier ones I'm keeping. And this is the leeks. I really need to plant out soon. And now for the basement tour. Let's see, ground cherries and a couple of potatoes in the back are finally growing. Finally, not so sad yellow. They were really nutrition deficient for a while. And the peppers are finally breaking up. They were sad. I was sad. And they're still really tiny. So I still... Oh, it was because I started turning off the heater too soon. So it was getting a little bit chillier down here for them than they like. So they were really stunted in the beginning. But now that I've kept it warmer here more often, I think they're bouncing back. Oops. My nasturtiums. There were a couple of seeds that just are so stubborn. So this is like the third time I put seeds in some of these. This is the second batch of seeds for these two, and the third for these empty ones. Third round of seeds. And then down here are my basil. Did medley of lime basil, Thai basil, Genovese basil, and dark opal. The dark opal germination is spotty. I put some more seeds in, hoping to fill them in. That's a nice full container. Oh. I gotta get this outside. This is another Swiss chard container. Oofa! Alright, it's warm down here. Whew. So here I potted my basil. You can't really see it in this pink light. I had also trimmed some cuttings, and it took a long time, but they're finally developing roots. And this boxy thing, I put my more lush peppers because they were too close to the light and starting to curl up. So I put them up here. Now this is Miracle Grow soil. So this is the jalapenos. That's what I attribute this massive growth to. Because everything else had my own made potting mix and they did not grow so vigorously. My ginger's still up there surviving. Oh, let's see if I can get a better angle here. That is in need of being outside. And our, which one was this? I don't remember. This the bell pepper one? I think this is the bell pepper. I'm constantly pinching flowers from. My lantana blooming along beautifully. The other ginger. This was a lone lime basil that I just stuck in there because it looked like it was dying. So the ground cherry that I grew really early on is outgrowing this container it's in. There's 3 of them in there, and they're really competing. The fruits are coming on, just super cool. This is the sunchoke. It is gigantic. Yeah, I'm constantly watering it. It's really sucking up a lot. And this is the bell pepper, starting to get attacked by the spider mites. So I moved it closer to the humidifier and spraying it to keep it moist, but I don't know. It's really, spider mites are really something. Tenacious. And last, what's the last? Oh, sweet potatoes. I've been juggling plants around this light. And sweet potatoes, I moved to the big window, and you can see they are reaching. That's okay. That is fine. So I'm getting a lot of slips. Oh, this needs water. Getting a lot of slips from that potato. And what else? The Thai basil that I overwintered is growing on strongly. I threw some more lettuce seeds in here. That's coming in too. Oh, and there were a couple that I had just topped, and they're coming back. They came back all by themselves. I can't even tell which ones it was. I'm sure it was this one. This big one was one of them. Oh, and I'm letting this one that I was letting go to flower is ready to be harvested. This one bolts readily and gives a lot of seeds. I will have no shortage of lettuce. Well, that concludes the April garden tour. There's a lot of work to do, a lot more plants to plant and start. The weather has been quite beautiful this week, but we're dipping back down into the 50s and nights in the 30s. So I'm doing a lot of constantly shifting plants in and out daily. Other than that, keep on growing. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.